Today, we're hunting for the truth about Jesus as Tom Hanks becomes sexy symbologist Robert Langdon in the Da Vinci Code. Hello, Clash Podders! A cryptex. They are used to keep secrets. It's Da Vinci's design. You write the information on a papyrus scroll, which is then rolled around a thin glass vial of vinegar. If you force it open, the vial breaks. Vinegar dissolves papyrus, and your secret is lost forever. The only way to access the information is to spell out the password with these 5 dials, each with 26 letters. That's 12 million possibilities. I'm Alex Zane.
The Da Vinci Code, or as I like to call it, QAnon the movie, concerns a bunch of seemingly intelligent academics following conspiracy theory to its illogical conclusion. Tom Hanks' hair plays the smartest man in the world. Amelie plays a clever cryptologist. Though we are only told this, never see it, as Hanks' hair explains stuff to her for the duration. Amelie and Hanks' hair go globetrotting while solving a series of dull puzzles like a $125 million episode of The Krypton Factor. But the programme it most resembles is Who Do You Think You Are? With the moment Amelie discovers she's God's great-great-great-great-grandkid, resembling that time Danny Dyer found out he was related to Edward III.
I can't be. I can't be. I think I'm going to treat myself to a raff.
What, the...
Yeah.
So when did you first see it, Vicky?
I went to the cinema to see it. I was so excited because the book was such a phenomenon. And I'm really picky about books because, you know, they take up so much of your brain and your life. And so I'm really choosy. And I wouldn't normally read a Dan Brown book. I know that's really snobby, but I'll just be honest, I wouldn't. But it was just great, you know, just rolling through the country like a gas. And so I sort of had to do it. And I read it and it was like, I was hooked like everyone else. Thought it was brilliant fun, really silly, brilliant fun. So when the film came out, I was very excited to see it. And I went there and I was bored. But
yeah, I thought it was a brilliant page turner.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I took quite a lot of it seriously, and then afterwards you're thinking, oh, this is amazing, and then afterwards you're like, oh, that was all a bunch of bollocks, wasn't it?
But it's fun bollocks.
It's fun bollocks.
Makes you think.
I went to the press screening, Alex. I remember the audience laughing at it a lot, and particularly one line which I will discuss when we get to it, and having a lot of disdain for it.
Yeah. Like
the press seemed to really, I don't know, hate this one. And I thought it was just fine. I didn't have that hatred in my heart. So let's talk about the hair, which they decided he should grow out and straighten to give him an academic look. Anyone a fan of Tom Hanks' hair in this movie? Ron Howard claims that women instantly really dug it.
Cool.
You have me confused with someone else.
We've got a prologue, and our curator is being chased through the Louvre by Silas, a monk, an albino monk with a dodgy accent. We establish he's the villain. He's sort of this force of nature. He says that the curator possesses something that doesn't belong to him, some secret he would die for. The guy gives up the secret, a location in Paris beneath a rose in a church, and then he gets shot in the stomach. So we've got a seminar now called The Interpretation of Symbols, which is where we meet Robert Langdon, played by Tom Hanks.
This is one of my favourite scenes because he's got like a lecture hall full of semi-grown-ups and he's like, but there's more than one meaning to things. And they're like, what? I can't believe that.
He is a professor of symbology at Harvard.
Yes.
Which isn't a thing. Did you know this?
I can believe that.
This is the first tangent I'm going down on. Yeah, there's no such thing
right.
as professors of symbology. But I love the New Yorker. They phoned up Harvard and asked why they don't have a professor of symbology. And they promptly responded with an email. They said, well, I'm sure Professor Langdon's classes would be filled to overflowing. We haven't considered creating a department of symbology, which must be symbolic of something.
Yeah, because it's beneath us.
So Langdon gets summoned to the Louvre by Captain Fash, as we said, played by Jean Reno, who says he is French.
Wait. He gets summoned there because his second in command, Fash's second in command, turns up at a book signing and proceeds to show him a photograph of a mutilated body with the words, probably don't pass that around. He literally goes, look at this. And Robert Langdon goes, I can't believe you've fucking given me that here. There are people queuing up. I'm signing books and you've given me, that's disgusting. It's great. It's a really big swing for the French police.
Yeah. Well, it's not though, is it? Because as Fash says, I am from the French version of the FBI, which is something that no member of the French version of the FBI would actually say.
It's one of my favourite bits.
Right. The rest of the film is split up into mysteries. So mystery 1, which I'm calling, why is his cock out? because before the curator died, he left a clue on himself.
He did. Are you asking why he took his pants off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But has he got his pants off? Because there's he chose where he decided to finally lay his corpse very well, because it's right underneath a very well placed spotlight.
Yeah.
It completely washes out.
So he's posed like Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man with the pentacle star painted in blood on his chest. So he'd made this decision. This is how I'm going to give this clue, is by painting on my chest.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't need to take the trousers off.
100%.
I don't think. We would have known Vitruvian Man if pants on.
He'd had his knickers on, yeah.
But if he had the time to take his clothes off and paint himself in his own blood and stick clues everywhere, couldn't he have sent Langdon a text message?
Yeah.
He does have his number.
Or
called
call
in.
for help. Just an ambulance, please.
He gets a lot done when he's dying.
Or know that writing P.S. Get Landon is going to give the wrong message of P.S. Unbelievable.
So there's a brief car chase through the streets of Paris.
Do you know what Ron Howard manages to do with this car chase, though?
What?
Is make it very clear just how difficult recreating the car chases from the Bourne Identity actually are for a director.
And you said that you can't do this, but he did some good driving in Rush.
Yeah.
It just fails, doesn't it, here? It's some of the most boring action you'll ever see. So Silas has some flashbacks. We meet Bishop Aringarosa, played by Alfred Molina, who was sort of his father figure growing up and looked after him when he was being treated badly when he was a kid. And Aringarosa's part of the Opus Dei, but we're going to get to that. And Silas is on the trail as well. He starts smashing up a church. He finds a box. He needs a keystone. He kills a nun. And we're introduced by phone to the teacher, who is somehow putting the strings behind the scenes. So we've got Silas working for Aringarosa, who's working for the teacher, and it's all a bit convoluted. It's much easier to grasp, I think, in the book.
I don't mind them sort of going, who could the teacher be? But there's one cut which is just so unfair. It's like a cheat. It's like the movie's Cheated, where Jean Reno is on the phone, and then it cuts to someone speaking to the teacher about the same thing that Jean Reno was actually talking about. And it's basically going, Jean Reno is the teacher.
And I think as well, because Silas is a good baddie in that his violence is quite unpredictable. Like, he kills a nun. You would not be expecting that. But you need him to be running after Tom Hanks, not running after something else, because Tom Hanks is being pursued by Jean Reno, who seems kind of all right, like not too scary. Like, he's got an agenda, but he's not as big a deal in terms of baddiness as Silas.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
All right, we're on to Mystery 2, Fabulous Fibonacci. So Langdon and Sophie's key gets them into a building filled with safety deposit boxes, and that's when they use the Fibonacci sequence. But it's ultimately a scene of a woman typing in numbers, which isn't all that cinematic, which is a problem over and over again in the film. Stuff that's exciting in the book isn't exciting visually.
I don't understand why. So he's written down the Fibonacci numbers, and there's a scrambled version and an unscrambled version, and one of them is the account number. And so she says, what should I type in, scrambled or unscrambled? And he says unscrambled, which means the account number is just the Fibonacci numbers, which seems unlikely.
Yeah, that's bad, isn't it?
Right. Okay, good.
But anyway, they get inside. There's a box inside. There's a rose on the box, and the police show up. So the bank manager hides them in a truck in a particularly uneventful escape.
Isn't that Jürgen Prochnow?
It is, yeah.
Okay, good. Can you tell me, please, what is he just a thief? Is he just a guy who goes,
I don't know who he's working for.
He doesn't appear to be working for anyone. It seems like he just sort of goes, I've been waiting for that box to be opened because I bet it's worth a bob or two.
Yeah. Not good. So Langdon's stressing out a bit in the back of this truck. They find a cryptex in the box. Sophie tells Langdon they are used to keep secrets, which he probably knows being a professor of symbology. Then she explains how it works, which he probably knows being a professor of symbology. There's a lot of that in this film. People explaining stuff to other people who would know that stuff.
And then he goes to her something like, you're the first girl I've ever met that knows what a cryptex is, or something patronising. But her job is cryptologist.
Unbelievable.
So she would... I don't know.
So they need a code to get the papyrus message inside, but there's 12 million possibilities. There's some head touching while we learn that Sophie's parents died in a car crash.
Well, that's the thing, because when you're having a panic attack, I think the best thing to hear is a horrific story about how your whole family died in a car crash. That would calm me right down.
Or your whole stupid family. Because never has a car crash been more likely to happen than if both your parents, including the one driving, are staring over the back seat going, are you okay, Sophie? While a truck heads towards you on a busy road. I mean, honestly, what are they both doing?
Yeah, they deserve to die. So Mystery 3, Mary Lives. So they head to see Grail expert Sir Lee Teabing, played by Sir Ian McKellen, which is good casting as he's a Knight of the Realm who's had issues with the church, playing a Knight of the Realm who's got issues with the church.
I hate this bit.
Also, he played Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, and here they pull up at his gates, and he goes, "Unless you answer 3 questions, you shall not pass."
Yeah.
Very good. And their questions about tea and
It's
milk
excruciating.
and rowing because he's so bloody English.
Shall I serve coffee or tea?
Tea, of course.
Excellent. Second, milk or lemon?
That would depend on the tea.
Correct. In which year did a Harvard scholar outrow an Oxford man at Henley?
Surely such a travesty has never occurred.
Your heart is true. You may pass.
Did you notice when they get into the house and he's like, more tea? Do you want tea? And keep talking about tea. The set dresser has done, he's English, he's obsessed with tea. So there's teapots and saucers and everything everywhere. And on a tea tray, there's also, bearing in mind it's the middle of the night and they've come for tea, a bottle of Heinz ketchup and HP sauce. Because obviously someone's gone, well, that's fucking English as fuck. So stick that on there. They must love that shit with their tea.
Just put a bulldog on it. Do you want your tea? But
Put a pint of lager on it. We are good to go.
Well, spoiler alert, he's the villain. I think there's 2 signs that he's the villain. It's the English accent, but also he drinks Earl Grey.
You don't like...
I don't like... No. Do you like Earl Grey?
That's a
I do
big
like Earl Grey,
swing,
yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
Oh,
Earl Grey.
What is it?
Lovely.
Why do I want this weird perfume?
I was going to say, do you think it's perfume?
Yeah, it stinks. I honestly thought it would be three of us
No,
hating on Earl Grey
I
then.
do enjoy a cup of Earl Grey.
Oh, shut up then.
I've always got it in the house, Chris.
Would you like a lapsang souchong?
I don't know if I've ever had that.
It's great.
I'm not very cultured, if I'm honest.
Very smoky.
Do Tetley make it?
No.
Probably.
I don't think so. I think they refuse to because it sounds foreign. Assam, do you like an Assam?
I don't know.
Oh.
I haven't been drinking tea that long, if I'm honest.
Have you not? What, you
No.
came to tea late?
Yeah, quite late. Yeah.
That's unusual.
Sort of how late?
5-10 years.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
What
So
about
you-
coffee?
you-
What have you been
I mean,
having all your whole life? When someone says, should we have a brew? You just go, no.
Water.
You just...
I love water. I drink a lot of water.
Do you drink hot water, like a cup of hot water? Okay, no, fair enough. That is weird.
Okay, so if someone says, do you want a hot drink? Do you just get hot water?
Hot chocolate,
Okay.
maybe.
That's a big ask for someone, though, because not everyone keeps hot
No,
chocolate.
I rarely ask for it.
No, but if someone says, do you want a hot drink?
I'll probably say no. Have you got water? Or wine? Have you got wine?
I'd much rather wine.
A pot of wine?
It's 10 in the morning, Chris. Yeah.
Have you got that wine then?
So Lee Teabing now does a PowerPoint presentation, which was apparently Ian McKellen's idea.
Was it?
Yes. Don't know if it was his best idea.
It's because he never heard of PowerPoint until this movie.
Look at this tech.
What on earth is this?
Which kicks off with the look at the Last Supper, which is a scitoma, in his opinion, which means that the mind sees what it wants to see when it looks at that. I like that word. I'm going to
Yep.
try and remember it. I probably won't. And this is where we get the symbols for man and woman. Alex, the phallus and the chalice.
Yeah, the phallus and the chalice.
Cock and the womb. The grail being an ancient symbol of womanhood, a woman to Christ's right is Mary Magdalene. She's not a sex worker, but rather she's Jesus' wife. They look like mirror images of each other, joined at the hip, creating the shape of the chalice. We're explained that basically the church was supposed to be continued by her, not Peter. And Mary was pregnant at the time of the crucifixion, and the revelations keep coming.
This is great.
They fled the Holy Land and came to France, and Mary gave birth to a daughter called Sarah, which means there could be salvation through sex rather than Jesus Christ. So women are now a direct threat to the power of the Christian church.
Do you know what you have to do?
Kill 'em?
a shit ton of them.
So this is the sacred feminine.
Right.
The church decides to cover up the fact that society was matriarchal. How do you feel about the sacred feminine, Alex?
Very good.
Sorry.
Very good.
You should have seen it come in.
Yeah, no, I did, but I didn't. It's a fun thing in the book to use as the plot pivot point because it sounds really believable. So it's
Yes.
cool. Like the witch hunts, it's obviously history is not as clean as it like then they did this and then they did this and then this happened. But in terms of like a good beach book and a fun holiday read, and it's a shame that when you translate it to the big screen, it doesn't feel like the romp that it should feel like. But as a plot point, so much fun, super believable.
For me, this whole thing, the whole theme, this is the moment in the film, within the confines of this film, where I got really excited, because this feels like, you know, it's where it sort of almost transcended like a movie and became one of my History Channel documentaries. I'm like, no, he did what?
Yeah.
They did this?
Yeah.
And this is so much more interesting.
Agreed. I mean, I'd like it to be true that not the fact that it was wiped out, but that society was like that. I just don't know if I believe it. I feel like women have been trampled on the whole time.
Yeah.
And so it's a nice thought, but it makes a good plot, as you said. Now, so Silas attacks and they kick the crap out of him and escape in a jeep through a forest in another desperate attempt to inject some excitement into proceedings.
It looks great. Like the Land Rover smashing through the trees, bouncing down the track. Looks great, but it's sort of, there's almost no need for them to be driving that dangerously, and they're just doing it.
Yeah,
so it
that's true.
feels like there's a car chase going on.
Because
And then
no
you
one's
sort of
chasing them, are they?
exactly. So you're like, oh, it's sort of like half a car chase,
It's
which isn't a chase. It's just a drive.
You're right. It feels like this is the issue. It's artificial action, isn't it? There's no. It doesn't feel like this. It also doesn't feel like there's a proper race against time here.
No.
They're not racing against anything really, apart from Silas, I think. But anyway, Mystery 4, Temple Templar. So they're on a plane with Silas. Langdon finds tokens hidden beneath the rose on the box. There's words backwards. They go to London and find a Templar Knight's tomb in Temple Church.
Yes.
Sorry, that's quite hard to say. We find out that Fash is Opus Dei and he's charged with stopping the bloodthirsty killer Tom Hanks, which sounds like a much more fun
This is the
film.
thing. I can't remember if this is the point of the film, but at some point he's saying, someone called me and said I had to stop this man because he's pure evil.
Yeah.
And he said, you cannot imagine the evil deeds I will do.
Yeah.
Okay, that does sound like something you should stop. But then you met him.
You met him.
You met him.
And he had the
and
hair.
he doesn't look like a man who's capable of any evil.
We've said it before, he's very non-threatening, Tom Hanks, isn't he?
There's nothing in that man that makes you think unlimited evil.
danger.
It's like the Mask of Sanity, though. It's like American Psycho. You know, he's pretending. I'll tell you what, though. It's because the bishop tells him it in confession. Fash is in confession in his confession booth, and those things are pretty sacred. I know. And it's the bishop who tells him, you've got to do this. So it's slightly different. It's not just a call out of the blue by a stranger. It's his bishop.
Have you done confession?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never done it.
Are you Catholic?
No.
I am.
You went in. You just popped in.
Why do you have to be Catholic?
I think so.
I thought it was kind of like just like a pop in.
I don't know.
Hold on, who are you talking to?
Whoever was behind the little curtain.
You can't do it in a photo booth.
I was pretty sure I was in a confession booth.
You're in an arcade.
Yeah. But because then when she put the money in the little slot, like the curtain pulls back and
Pennies for heaven. Yeah, you're absolutely
drive
right.
a car.
I'm sorry,
there's
yeah.
a naked woman there.
So there is a runway chase between police cars and a plane.
Again, just a rubbish chase because it's like the police cars are going really, really fast at a plane that's landing and taxiing onto the ground. It's going to stop. It's chasing something that's slowing down.
Mystery 5, a pope, not a pope, a pope.
Idiots.
Right. They need to find a tomb with an orb. Silas appears. Some random butler changes sides. They get away thanks to some birds and some nuns. I mean...
Yeah, Remy, who's meant to be like this cold-blooded killer, he's like, oh, fuck a pigeon.
It's not great. Langdon says, I have to get to a library. Fast!
That is my favourite line of any film ever.
That's the line that got a big laugh in the cinema.
It's so
and to be
amazing.
They won't kill Lee until they find the Grail.
So we have to find it before they do.
I have to get to a library, fast.
Because when I saw it this time, I laughed my head off. But I wondered if in 2006 I was like, okay, cool. Because there was no mobile internet or whatever.
No, the whole cinema was pissing themselves.
Does he say I have to? I need to know.
I have to
need to.
I have to get to a library. Fast.
Love it. And she's like, definitely.
Oh, I mean, there's nothing that says sexy chase, globe-trotting movie than being on the top deck of a bus in
London
London,
bus as
borrowing
well,
someone's
yeah.
phone.
You know,
Gross.
I love a bus, but they're rarely the quickest way to get anywhere in London, are they? You're normally in gridlock.
They tend to stop and start a lot.
Yeah.
They've got their own lane, but there's just always gridlock. So, and also just being on the top deck of a bus, it's not great for your action sequence.
But also you've got the world's most recognisable man, basically, and you've got charm personified. You've got Amelie. What can we do with them that says mystery, danger, adventure, whatever? Put them on the top deck of the 77. No.
Go and talk to a bloke, ask to borrow his phone, look up London Knight and Pope on quicksilver.net.
Quicksilver.
And then they're quite clever people, but the bloke on the bus has to explain linguistics to them. I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah.
Where's your problem, mate? It's your basic linguistic coincidence. See, keywords keep coming up with the writings of some bloke named Alexander Pope.
A Pope. Your grandfather was a genius.
So Teabing appears, because Teabing's there. Teabing's our villain, and he's talking about God's will, because of course he is the teacher. And it's sort of a bit of a Bond scene, this, where he starts explaining that it's all for the greater good. The greater good. He says for 2,000 years the church has rained oppression and atrocity upon mankind. The Grail quest requires sacrifice. When history is written, murderers are heroes. So he's gone to the dark side, basically.
He's gone mad.
He's gone, has he? But I don't know, is there not method in his madness?
I mean, I think to be able to go, I've killed people, but I'll be remembered as a hero is pretty mad.
But anyway.
It's sort of, I mean, I know it's his big moment, Langdon's moment, where he works out the code is Apple, and it proves that, because up until this point, he's done really fuck all in the entire movie, and now he gets to prove what a great symbologist he is. But it really sort of is weird that, you know, Sophie doesn't open it. Like, the whole thing has been about this being her knowledge, and she's been trained for this moment, that her granddad left it for her, and that he sort of even knew as he was dying that he had to get it to her, and gave her all the information she needed to get into the account and all of that. But then when it comes to the crunch, it's like, no, can't do it. So.
A man literally shouts at another man, she can't do it. It's amazing. She's like, I can't. I just can't. And he's like, I'll do it. I'll have a big think over here for 5 minutes and I'll sort this shit out.
For literally less than 5 minutes, though. He just sort of go, give it here. Done it.
I don't know!
Stop it! She can't do it, Lee. A-P-P-L-E. Apple.
Right, mystery 6. Is this the last mystery? Yes, mystery 6.
Is this the mystery where the film has now killed off all the villains or arrested all the villains? So there is no one chasing them. So now the final climax at the church of Rosalind is just them visiting a church.
Yeah.
Good.
Pretty much.
Yeah, right.
Was
fine.
anybody else? This started to annoy me. If I can't have a makeover scene, could someone at least just get changed? Because they wear the same clothes the whole
They
time.
don't.
Really?
Tom Hanks, when he visits the Louvre at the very, very end, has taken off what actually is a passable outfit and put on what apparently is 70s fancy dress. He's wearing a suede jacket with giant lapels and either the most boot-cut trousers you've ever seen or flares. He's like, it's that Boogie Nights theme party tonight, so I'll pop by the Louvre first, but I'm going to have to wear my costume.
And there isn't time to do both, so...
And so Sophie is the secret. Princess Sophie is the heir. She's the end of the bloodline. She's the last living descendant of Jesus Christ.
How do they know she's the last one?
And why is she the fucking last one? If you are producing children who are part of Jesus' bloodline, pop a few out.
Yeah.
Because, like, the church is after them. So, you know, have the odds in your favour. Just keep going. Yes. I don't really want... Oh, fuck it. I've got a responsibility here. Yeah, another one. Thunk. Another thunk.
So she ascends the stairs, and this priory of Sion are all waiting for her. They'll protect her now.
These scary white people will protect you.
Welcome home, child. I got real Rosemary's Baby vibes.
Yeah.
From this.
It's horrible. Why she's like, lovely, I'll be looked after. Off you pop, Robert. It's like
they're like zombies. They just stood there. It's
terrifying.
Yeah, very scary.
And also,
cult. It's a cult, isn't it?
Yeah.
What a swizz. It's like, you're related to Jesus. We can't prove it though, so that's it. So you can say you're related to Jesus, But
only to us.
because the sarcophagus is missing, so we can't actually test it. So we'll never be able to disprove what the church has done.
Yeah, bollocks. Sophie, the only thing that matters is what you believe. We then get this postscript of Robert Langdon cutting his cheek while shaving, and it gives him the idea to follow the line. He follows the line of blood into the sink, which sends him to his own book, because this is Dan Brown writing a Dan Brown book. And the blood line is the rose line. It hides beneath the rose. He follows this rose line through the streets to the Louvre. He kneels over the location of Mary Magdalene's tomb under the Louvre, beneath the pyramid in Versailles, which Grandpa was stationed at all along. And that's the ending, that Mary Magdalene is buried under the Louvre. And it's this bigger conspiracy than we could even imagine.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What are you talking about?